Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm happy to have you. To my pre-existing subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about and discussing the meeting between Donald Trump, the military generals being called all across the United States to come to this secret meeting that was being called upon by Peter Hegseth. It comes at a time when Donald Trump said publicly that he was sending the military to Portland and that he gave full permission for the military to use any force necessary against the American people. We're going to take a look at that in today's video. This video, again, is just for entertainment and for educational purposes only as well. And this specific video is being recorded on Sunday, September 28th at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I tried to do a video earlier. My computer kind of crashed out. I wasn't able to get back in for a little bit, but I'm back. I'm recording. I'm going to do multiple different videos, so expect video after video after video well into the night. Anyway, this video, if you want to help out, to support the channel and whatnot, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the content, sharing this video with others. Really help boost the algorithm here on this channel. If you also want to be notified when I do post and upload, go into the description or the comment section below and follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group, and I will personally notify you when I do post and upload. I am very sick, unfortunately. I kind of feel it coming on, so over the next couple of days, I'm going to be sicker. You're going to start to see that. But anyway, let's get head on in. Let's just slam this one out. All right, let's do it. Okay, so Donald Trump, apparently the President of the United States, is attending a secret meeting among all military generals that was being held by Peter Hegseth. And to make matters worse, it came at a time when Donald Trump gave and said publicly that he gave the military full permission to use any force necessary on American people. So, Spiritual Angels, tell me, where does the United States currently stand as of now with the meeting that's incoming between the military generals of the United States, the U.S. President Donald John Trump, and Peter Hegseth, the Department of War? Where does the United States currently stand, and where will it be heading based on your current projections? The first thing I heard was full power. That's what I'm hearing, full power. So it feels like what's happening with this military thing, it feels like it's a way to try to weed out any sort of dissidents. Anybody who would say, no, I don't want to do that. They're weeding people out now. That's what the meeting is for. It means full power. He consolidating. This is the Three of Cups. Right? These are people who are surrounded, who are like-minded, who are celebrating the same goal, have the same ambition. The top of the deck, though, we have the Ten of Cups. Anybody who's in this goal. So, for some weird reason, this is very weird, the two cards coming up as celebration. Right? The bottom deck and the top of the deck. Why is this important? Because what they believe truly is they think that they are doing really good, that they believe that they are the good guys, and that any sort of resistance, any sort of opposition is considered the bad guys. I'm not saying that these people are actually good. I'm saying that their intention, their energy, and their mindset, they believe internally in some messed up way that they think that what they're doing to the people are good. That is why the Ten of Cups come here. That is why the Three of Cups also come here. It's surrounding people who agree, who are part of the same club, who are part of the same ideology, part of the same mindset. Right? They want to make sure that the military and ICE and the administration is all on board under the same goal. Right? They're all in this together, in cahoots, if you will. The card that comes after the Ten of Cups, though, is followed by victory, the Six of Wands. This is telling me here that they're going to succeed at whatever it is that they're trying to do. The Republican administration is going to use the military in some way that's going to be successful. The bottom deck is the Three of Cups. And the card that comes before is the Four of Cups, reversed. It's to ensure that the military cannot force the president out at any point. So essentially it means that it's going to weed out any sort of opposition, any possibility of the military turning against the president or turning against the government, right? It doesn't matter if it turns against the people. What matters to the government right now, the current administration, is as long as the military is on the side of the government, on the side of the oppressor. So as in regards to what's happening in the United States, we have the strength card in reverse. We have a weakening of the Supreme Court, definitely. We also have here the strength card also falls in reverse on top of the rule of law, on top of the card that represents the Constitution. It's reverse. But it's in an angle position, which means that it's coming in the future. Something's going to be hidden about the Constitution that is weakened, but it remains hidden. So something that is, how do I describe this? It's basically taking something that is in the Constitution and just hiding whatever it is that's treacherous against the U.S. Constitution, the U.S. government document, but it's going to remain hidden. Maybe this is a play for possibly saying that maybe, because people idealize Donald Trump and his administration and his, movement, this simply might just indicate that they might overlook the Constitution and allow what Donald Trump is doing that plainly violates the U.S. Constitution and allow him to continue moving forward whatever plan that he's trying to institute that goes against the Constitution and the government document. But it also could indicate as well is that they could blatantly violate the U.S. Constitution in some way in regards to using the military, and they could hide those little snippets from the American people from the broader perspective. It could also be used as a form of distraction to distract people from what has been violated. So there's two different ways that this can go. But regardless, what has been very consistent is that there's a weakening of the Supreme Court, a weakening of the judicial branches, but also a really bad weakening of the U.S. Constitution and a blazing violation of that constitutional conduct, which tells that there's something here that no longer makes the U.S. a governing democracy. It is now heading more towards authoritarianism. Right? That is where we are now. We're no longer a democracy. We are very much on our way to authoritarianism. It feels as if it already is here. It already has signs that it's here. So the fact that this has come full circle and this is the beginning tells that this is the rest of the story, which means that because I heard the word full control, and we have the strength card in reverse and a violation of the U.S. Constitution, which is a government document or hiding of something. Maybe possibly they might hide the U.S. governing document, which is the Constitution, and replace it with something else that's temporary. Even though it doesn't feel like the Constitution disappears, but it does feel like it's in the back burner, it's in the shadows, in the background. It's no longer dictating, puppeteering the show. Something else is in the forefront now. But this is what the strength card is telling us. This is where the United States is currently heading. The United States is an authoritarian government. It is an authoritarian state right now. We have here the hidden powers is the moon card. Because we talked about the word distraction, you notice how here we have the dog and the wolf, and they're both howling at this moon and sun. Because the moon indicates what's hidden, right? But the sun card indicates the illumination. What does this mean? It means a distraction. It means that this predator that's in the ocean, which is the lobster, is going to take each animal by surprise. It's going to clip it and drag it into the water, which means coming in October and November, we're going to start to see more trace of the military becoming more well involved in the United States. If it already is, which we already see it, but it's going to become more actively involved in some way. We have here, because they're going to use it in a behind the scenes, so the American people are going to be focusing on other things. Things are in the news that's going to keep the military and what is being done and how the U.S. military is being used. It's going to be in the back burner. People are not going to be paying attention. It's going to catch them by surprise. You're going to be taking one out by the other, and they're going to use distraction to illuminate something else, another problem, while hiding the main focus, which will be the military. So what's happening here, they're using the military behind the scenes while distracting the American people with other, shiny topics to keep them disengaged from what is currently going on, the blatantly control of power. So the next card here is we have the star card. The star card really represents the president, the executive branch, right? Why is this important? Because it gives a sense of false illusionment. This is for the United States. It's saying this sense of false illusionment. It's this woman here who is not even in the water, so she's not even well balanced on water, because water means the emotion, and the land means grounded. She's not grounded in her emotion. The United States is not grounded in its emotional intent. This is a very emotional time in the United States. And here you have is this female, the feminine, taking the water from this ocean and pouring a large amount of water back in, while also taking the same amount of water, less amount of water, but slowly going back in. So it's this illusionment of the recycle. So for example, when I say recycle, let's go back to, how governments, especially at least in New York, I know in New York, they tell you ever go into like a restaurant and they have a recycle bin, they have a trash bin, and they have a paper bin, right? And it's supposed to give you this false illusion that you're doing something good for planet Earth. When you take a look inside, all of them are one giant garbage bin. Like garbage bin. There is no separation between all three. It's to give you this false illusion that things are good, that things are being helped around the world. But it's, again, this false idea, this false illusion that something's actually getting done. And that's exactly what the star card is. It's the false progress. It's the fact that you think that you're progressing, but really you have been stagnant. They've just been telling you that you've been progressing, but you've been very stagnant. For example, the KKK, we have here slavery. It has been modernized. We have the rich people who created this country, founded this nation, right? We're back where we started with the oligarchy. The United States was founded by an oligarchy, by rich people, rich landowners, to ended up having a current situation 250 years later, the exact same playbook. So again, the question I asked you, did the United States really progress as a nation? The answer to the cards, no. To go forward more, what is also happening in the United States in regard to the U.S. military and what is coming forward, we have here at the Nine of Pentacles, and this indicates to me full control, full power. Everything's on your side. This is giving me the Roman Empire, where like a lot of military generals were on the side of the emperor, and that they were able to do whatever it took to get to the goal and agenda that they need, as long as everybody who are participating is benefiting in some form. So there's some sort of beneficiary. Everybody has its own interpersonal goal while trying to achieve the greater outcome. We also have here as well the two clarifiers to the Nine of Pentacles here. We have the Page of Swords reversed, which indicates lack of bravery or lack of willpower to defy the rule of law. It tells me that people greed and what their wants and desires in this world is overshadows the possibility of rebelling against the status quo. So for example, what I'm saying is that anybody who participates in this type of movement to solidify the power of the presidency in one party, or one uniparty, there's going to be a lack of resistance here. I don't see resistance coming from those who agree to this agenda, because they have a lot to lose, because they are riding on the fact that if I benefit him, if I back this individual, if I do whatever I can to help ensure the agenda is achieved, I will benefit, I will flourish, and they will do nothing to make sure that they are on the bottom. They don't want to be on the bottom. That's their biggest fear. That is their biggest fear. There's people who are bringing forth this agenda, to bring this dictatorship, authoritarianism to the United States, fear being on the bottom. If you can figure out somehow to exploit that, you might just be able to crack the code. We also have here as well, we have the King of Cups. This represents a leader. This represents Biden back in 2021 all the way to 2024, right? This is the King of Cups. This is a leader who's calm among the midst of chaos. Instead, now the card has always indicated to me, since Donald Trump has taken office, is a leader who causes chaos, who thrives in chaos, while remaining while having all the great things that come with the perks of being president, causing havoc, causing chaos, while just sitting here in a very calm manner, watching it all play out, because this is a messed up thing. They enjoy this. They get high off of this. So what is happening in the United States is saying that here the people, not only those who agree to the agenda, it's also talking about the American people as well. The reason why the American people in certain subgroups are not resistant to this is because they fear that if they go up against whatever this messed up status quo is, they fear retribution. They fear that they'll be on the bottom too, and they don't want that. But here's the kicker. They'll still be on the bottom. And here's the King of Cups. They rather support this money. They rather support what could benefit them in the moment in exchange for a leader who could promise that. But here's this leader. He doesn't give a crap. This is somebody who's just in the midst of chaos. They're causing chaos and issues. Not once did he hold the pentacle for the American people. Not once. That's the United States. That's where the United States is heading with this meeting. We're already here, but it's going to speed up. It's going to further amplify those themes that I just spoke about. Now let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the U.S. military meeting that's happening in Virginia. What's happening in this secret meeting in Virginia with all the U.S. military generals across the United States? What is happening with the U.S. military this coming week in Virginia? Okay. There's no military cards here, which concerns me a little bit more than I like to believe. We also have here, we have the Fool card. Okay. The top of the deck, we have here the Scorpio. I mean, I might talk about the Scorpio earlier. They're going to take the Scorpio and drag the person underneath by distracting them. This is the Scorpio card. This is going to be what's coming in the next couple of weeks into October and November. Maybe I have to do a November-October video dedicated to what's happening in the United States, because it does feel like something big's happening. Let's see. Let me use a different deck to further clarify these cards. We have two major arcanas here. That's a little concerning. Okay. Okay, so Spirit Angel, tell me about the United States. Tell me about the United States and the secret military meeting happening in Virginia this week. What is happening with the U.S. military general, Donald Trump, Peter Hegseth? What is coming? Okay, so Stephen Miller is also going to be present. And it has to do with ICE. It's the enforcement of something. It's the imprisonment of people. I think they're going to imprison people. This is the next phase. Okay. What is happening with Donald Trump, the U.S. military, and Peter Hegseth? What is going on? What is going on? Clarify the final card, the Two of Cups. I mean, the Two of Wands, excuse me. Clarify the Two of Wands. No, that's too many cards. Clarify the Two of Wands. This means control. They're controlling something. Here you have it, the Four of Swords. There's an ending to something. Yeah, it's an ending to the military and its commitment to something. The Moon is here. The Eight of Cups. There's only 2 cups standing. The other cups are down. 2 cups remain in front of the White House. And look at that guy. He looked confused. He's not holding anything. He's just holding his hand. And when somebody's holding him in this position and they're walking, they're nervous. They have anxiety. They don't know what's going on. This is somebody who's vulnerable. So the military is vulnerable here. There's something going on with the military, and they're confused. Something confused. Okay. Something confused. I want to see when the full moon cycle is. Okay. When is the next moon? Next full moon, okay. Okay, so the next full moon, which occurs Monday, October 6, 2025 at 11:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's also a super moon. And it'll be the largest and brightest full moon of the year, and it's also known as the harvest moon, which basically means that whatever's going on in the United States right now with this full moon and super moon, whatever the seed that's been planted in the previous 28 days will now emerge to the forefront. It will now give birth. Okay. I'm getting told to look at the moon card. Where's my moon deck? Because they're saying that that is important. Where's my moon deck? I haven't used this deck in years, but we have the moonology. Let's take a look. There's something here going on with the meaning that is secretive, and the moon indicates secret, but it's a supermoon, which means big event. What is going on with this supermoon and the fact that the secret meeting is taking place between military generals Donald Trump, Peter Hegseth, and Stephen Miller? What's going on here? And why are you emphasizing a full moon with the Eight of Cups? With the military general in front of the White House, so confused. What are you indicating? What's happening? They're telling me to flip the deck. What's going on, Spirit? What's going on with the supermoon here? Now they're telling me to half the deck. Okay, what's going on? Okay, they're telling me to take the top deck. We have here a new start is coming, new moon. It's reversed, which tells me it's going to be a repeat of something. They're telling me to go with the middle. So I'm going to say right here is the middle. We have here you and your loved ones are safe. This is new moon in Cancer. The new moon card comes in again. Cancer is also the astrology that represents the United States because it was born in July, which is the Cancer card, which is the Cancer zodiac. We have here as well balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. So very watery energy here. And the bottom deck here, we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. Capricorn indicates military presence, right? The top of the deck, expect powerful change, new moon in eclipse. Maybe it's not exactly the moon, but it's the new moon. When is the new moon? When is the next new moon? Okay, so it says here the next one, it was October 21st. But, let me see, 2025. We just have one September 7th. And we're heading into a full moon now. A super moon, actually. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And I want to know about Pisces. Is Pisces a military sign in astrology? Is Pisces a military sign in astrology? Okay, let's see. No, Pisces is not considered a typical military sign in astrology. It's compassionate, empathetic, and imaginative traits are generally seen as better suited for creative or healing profession rather than military service. However, in one instance from 2021, showed the U.S. Army suggesting Pisces could excel at JAG, or Judge Advocate General, attorney due to their passion for helping others. Through the specific approach to career matching based on zodiac signs were controversial. Okay, that makes no sense. The Army controversy, for example, in 2021, the official U.S. Army Instagram page posted a video suggesting zodiac signs for various jobs. For Pisces, the suggested role was JAG, attorney, linking their passion for helping people and honesty to succeed in that position. This post sparked widespread criticism and negative reaction from the public, with some calling it woke nonsense and questioning the Army's approach to recruitment. Okay, that's interesting. Because remember I posted on my community page, I said for some reason, military tribunal. Let me see, and it says here, judge. Military tribunal. Okay, hold on. Tribunal. Okay. Interesting. New moon, new phase. We have here, let's break it up. We have here a new moon, a new sun is coming, the new moon is reversed. You and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. We have here balance, spirituality, and practicality, full moon in Pisces. Give me a clarifier, then we're gonna keep reading. Give me a clarifier. We might be able to break this down once we get a little closer. So maybe, and I think I have an idea what it could mean. We have here adjustments are required to third quarter moon. I think I understand what this means. It's saying here that, you know how it said when it comes to the Pisces thing, when I looked it up, it's talking about somebody who wants to do what's good for the nation. Here you have is the military confused, doesn't know where it's going. Is it the Eight of Cups? I wonder if somebody's getting fired and these people who are there are doing it and who are there who have the best interest and best heart for the United States. I really do think that that could be what that means. We'll understand a little bit more as we get into the reading, because we have here the card that represents what is going on behind the scenes in a secret meeting. There's too many cards here, I feel cluttered. Anyway, we have the air card. The air card is pollution, negativity, dark energy, right? This is what's going on here. Wherever this is, it's talking about something of dark intention, of dark goals, dark places, if you will. Right? That's exactly where they're heading. That's exactly what they want. Because the next card underneath the air card is the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords is a very interesting card because it indicates to us ice. But back then, this card was made around 2020 and 2019, 2018. This is Stephen Miller, and this is ice. This is the military. This is deportation, right? This is locking people up no matter what. This is the Three of Swords. Betrayal, this is imprisonment, and it comes underneath dark intention. So what is the intention here of this meaning? Is imprisonment, to lock people up, to gather up control, right? This is what Stephen Miller is doing. But also, I keep hearing the word Joseph Goebbels from Nazi Germany, the propagandists. Right? Whatever Joseph did back in Germany in regards to the military, expect similar action to be taking place behind the scenes in the military. This is the intention here. But the card that comes in as well is the 13th. And I keep seeing here the mask. The mask is unfolded. The goal, the ambition is revealed publicly. This is the death. This is the death of the 13 colonies. This is the death of democracy. It's the death and the full ending of a story, of an experiment. Underneath the death card here, we have the World's card in reverse. America goes full isolationist. This feels very much like North Korea. In some way, there is restriction here. There is closed. Something is closed. Something is restricted. And here you have as well, we have the Five of Pentacles reverse. The military at some points felt like it didn't have enough money, that it needed more money, more influence. Donald Trump will convince the military. Stephen Miller will convince the military. Peter Hegseth will convince the military to get on their side in exchange for money. They're going to sell a story. The story that, oh, you guys were never given money. You were always restricted. People always said that you guys should have a reduction in money, but we don't believe that. We believe that we're going to fund you. We're going to give you all the money you need, all the influence you need. As long as you promise to back us, to support us. Right? As long as you promise not to say no. This is Ronald Reagan. Tear down that wall is reversed. As long as you promise not to tear down the wall, to not go against me, to not challenge me. As long as you can promise the King of Pentacles in reverse, as long as you promise that I will give you all that you need. So again, this is an attitude here. This is a way to control, to convince the generals that if we give you something in exchange for your loyalty. And here you have it, the Tower card. A big change. The Tower, 9/11. We the people, the Constitution, the justice system, the towers. What's underneath it? We have the Three of Cups. This is Stephen Colbert, freedom of speech, right? The restriction of freedom of speech is to crack down on the ability to prevent those from speaking outwardly, to crack down on those who speak about the Constitution, who speak about certain historical precedents, right? This is people who are out there who are saying that, no, that's not okay, that's not acceptable because it's not allowed. It's never been done before. This is to silence. The next card here is you have the Seven of Coins reverse. This is the underhanded tip. They're no longer tipping. They're no longer dropping hints. This is outwardly in the open. This is the 7 of coins. And when I say out in the open, it doesn't necessarily mean out in the open to the public, but out in the open to those who will work in the military. Their plan will be revealed to them. And the question is whose side are they on? And here underneath the 7 of coins reversed, you have the King of Swords reversed, which is Barack Obama. This is paradise. This is the promise of paradise. But it's reversed. And here you have is the monarch butterfly. He knows he's the monarch. He knows he's the King of Swords. But yet he doesn't need to have the monarch on him. Because he knows he's the monarch. It's reversed. It's the fact that you need to acknowledge that Trump is the president. Trump is the monarch. There's a difference. That's why it falls under here. We have here as well, you have the 2 of Wands here. It's to basically cause propaganda to brainwash. This is what it is. It's brainwashing the military general to believe in the Emancipation Proclamation. But guess what's here? We have here the new Jim Crow law. Right? Abraham Lincoln. And this is to prevent the separation of 2 people. I'm getting the idea here that they are trying to emphasize that the American people as a collective are different, are below them, are inferior to them, that they are superior to the American people. And that is what they're also indicating. On the bottom of this, what's clarifying the energy here, we have the Page of Pentacles. It's all about holding on. And here you notice the 2 of Pentacles here, not the 2 of Pentacles, the Prince of Pentacles, which is Donald Trump Jr., followed by, ironically enough, you have Mitch McConnell, which is the 4 of Pentacles, and it also means control. This is the turtle. I didn't know there was a tortoise here. And this is the cicada tortoise, which indicates slow movement, but growing, bigger and bigger, but they move slowly. This is during the fall, so this is when they start to hold back. This is when the military starts to feel powerful. For some reason, the reason why military generals are walking away, feeling confused, because they don't know what to do. They don't know who to put their loyalty to. That's what the question is who is the military going to side with? Because we can get all this money, we can give you all this money in exchange for your loyalty. Or you don't, and you reject all this possibility of this ambition. What matters more to the military? Is it the fact that maybe you can be the best military in the world, or is defending your own people considered the best? That is the question that's going to be on a lot of these generals' mind: is where is their loyalty? Where do they stand? This is the card. This is the reading I'm getting for that meeting. I don't think the meeting is of good intentions. Obviously, I don't think anybody thinks the meeting is good intentions, but it does concern me. It does concern me. Not that you guys should be worried, because this is, again, out of our control. And when I read on this stuff, I'm telling you what I'm getting, energetically speaking. But do not worry about it, because we cannot control it. It's just, I guess, part of the American story. We just have to sit back, I guess. I mean, it doesn't mean you stop resisting, but it doesn't mean that you take on the burden, on all the stress of the population, of the collective. I'm an empath, and I'm breathing very heavy over the past couple of months, and I'm struggling to breathe, actually. But sometimes it's okay to just take that step back, to get yourself that self-care. We'll get through this. Spiritual angels tell me, why is Donald Trump going to be at that meeting between all the military generals in a secret meeting in Virginia? Well, that's lovely. He wants the military to use force, and he's going to use force against the military in order to get them to use force on the people. Right, here you have it, the money here. This is Nancy Pelosi and some guy here, the Queen of Coins. Right, this is Goldman Sachs. This is the speech. So he's going to give this grand speech, but behind the scenes, there's something else that's in play. Something else is forcing Donald Trump to make this move. On the topic deck here as well, we have the foundation, the 10 of Wands here. This is the struggle. This is preventing those who are handicapped, those who are unable to challenge, who doesn't have a spine to to prevent them from challenging. It's not in any connection to those with disabilities, but it is in connection to the fact that they can't walk. There's something here that's silencing them. The fact that they need certain things in order to get the power and influence that they have. They're going to cut the power. They're going to cut the influence off. Something's going to prevent an influencing from speaking out, the resistance from speaking out. Because here you have it, we're asking about Donald Trump. Why is Donald Trump speaking to the military in his private meeting? Well, the first card that comes in is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups means cooking something. There's something here that's cooking. Well, what is cooking? This is threats, right? This is the Three of Swords here. The Three of Swords is to make sure that they understand that they can oppress others. And you know how, like, sometimes people who are abused, who don't know any better, there are two ways that people who are abused, right? They can either become the abuser when they grow up because that's all they knew, or someone becomes somebody who rejects the abuse, heals from that abuse, and make sure that they don't become the abuser. This is the Three of Swords here. This is telling me here that Donald Trump is actually going to berate these military generals. And some of them are going to be so angry, they're going to take their frustration out on the people. And that's exactly what he wants. Whereas others are not going to. But his goal here, his ambition, his psychological ambition, is to threaten, to punish, to manipulate the military generals into having such hatred that they're going to take it out on the people. And that is one of the goals. That is one of the ambitions here. What we have here is followed by the Two of Swords reversed. The Two of Swords reversed represents the boogeyman. But it's not the boogeyman. They know who the guy is. They know who this person is. This is the Two of Swords. This is not the boogeyman. Why it is important, why they're trying to institute this. As this meeting is taking place, wherever it is, there's going to be massive protests. Right? People are going to be protesting. But here you have the oppression. This is also talking about what happened in Portland, what's coming in Portland. He's trying to use the military general to be stationed at every aspect, every town, every city along the United States to make sure that they squander any sort of oppression, any sort of resistance against the oppressor. Here you have underneath it, we have also protest. But this is the Seven of Swords reverse. Some of the Swords reversed, they feel like in some way their agenda is being stalled. That only certain people are being targeted away. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want certain people. He wants everybody. Anybody and anyone who resists him to be put away. This is the Seven of Swords. That is the resistance here. The reason why he's threatening the general, because he wants to ensure that they are angry enough that they take out their anger on these people, not on him. Right? He's going to abuse them to the point that they feel very scared, very fearful to stand up to him. And here you have is the last card here is the Eight of Swords here. Reverse. And here you have it, the gunman. The gunman, right? This is the guy who is taking his life, right? But it's not. There's going to be attack. There's also here, it does feel like they're going to plan attacks along the United States to institute an agenda. So what is happening here? Again, this video is just for entertainment and educational purposes only as well. But essentially, he's going to try to use the military to carry out some false flags operation. And that's what I'm getting. What's the bottom of the deck here? Goldman Sachs. Top of the deck. Ten of Swords. I mean, Ten of Wands. I don't even know why. Like, I see it and I say the wrong word. Like, it makes no sense to me. Anyway, besides the point, we are going to now talk about the military tribunals. So Spirit Angel, tell me, why do you tell me to put the military tribunal in the title? Does it have any relevance in any capacity to the meeting between Donald Trump, military general, Peter Hegseth, and Stephen Miller? Okay, so we have three cards here. We have the Seven of Coins reverse. This is revealing the plan in the public. No longer tipped, it's revealing the plan to the public in some way. It doesn't mean it has to do with us, the people, but the public may be within the meeting itself. But we're asking specifically about military tribunals, right? This is the tip, this is public. And here you have is the World's card in reverse. to bring forth a form of darkness, to bring forth a form of silence, to punish, to regain more power within darkness. Power gains more in darkness than it does in light. It weakens in light, but it gains more in darkness. And that's why the water card comes in. It's to cause chaos, to cause distraction, to cause upheaval. So what's happening with James Comey, they're using it as a form of distraction, to cause an anger, to cause an uproar. What he's hoping for is for the American people in some way, in some areas, to rebel against this with violence, and to use that justification to militarize against the American people and to use the military to control the American people. It's a propaganda tactic. It's exactly what it feels like it's going to happen. And because remember we talked about a false flag operation, I could not help but think to myself for 1 minute when I saw the attack in the church recently, the Mormon church, the first thing that came to me was false flag. You ever notice how all these are Republicans, just hypothetically speaking? What if, and hear me out here for a second, what if it's possible that these are all carried out for propaganda reasons to be able to institute the certain agenda? Just hypothetically, right? All right. I'm going to finish off the reading. I just want to ask the cards about Peter Hegseth and Stephen Miller's role in this meeting. What is Peter Hegseth and Stephen Miller's role in this specific meeting between Donald Trump and military generals in secret coming this week? Okay, so it's to ensure that there is no defeat of the incumbent, to ensure that there is power here, control. We have here to understand and to institute to the military and say, listen, we are going to stay in power. We're not to be removed. Either you leave now, or we remove you. But you cannot remove us. It's basically a threat, open threat to the military. They're saying to the military directly, because it's 2025 and you cannot remove us until 2029, everybody won't believe if we stay on public, because we control the media now. We control the media. So we can simply say, oh, well, the military is rebelling, it's going rogue. Because they don't like Donald Trump, they don't like what he's doing, they don't like his presidency. They're woke. But this Ace of Swords card is saying here, you have no choice. You support us, you keep us in power, or we take you out. Because here you have it, the Page of Wands here. We had no intention to have a new leader. We had no intention. This is the Page of Wands reverse. It's telling me here lack of intention. This is the new leadership. This is a new takeover, a new transition. This is telling the military we have no plan for a transition. This could also be indicating what's coming about, the midterms. It could be about an election that's coming soon. We had no intention to keep things fair. And here we have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Wands reverse. It means things getting uprooted. The status quo getting uprooted. Right? We have the Queen of Swords. This is the rule of law. Rule of law getting uprooted. And here you have is the Emperor. The Emperor uprooting the rule of law. I would not be surprised if some way, in some form, he's going to use the military and ICE to threaten people at the polls. I would not be surprised. Alright, is there anything else, Spirit? Okay, they're telling me I just need to use these index cards because they're saying that these cards are very important. Now, if you're asking and wondering why is Donald Trump getting away with all this, he will get away with it for a while. Until July of next year. So, Donald Trump can do basically whatever he wants. Until July of next year. But then the country goes through major problems. Alright, so, anyway, besides the point. Spirit Angels will tell me about whatever it is that you want to tell me with the index cards. It'll relate to the topic, it'll relate to the video. The way this works, if you're new, is any color index card represents a major arcana. Anything that's white means it's minor arcana. And in the past, these cards have been very accurate. I'm actually pretty impressed with that. In the past, they talked about alien invasion, or alien attack, or there's a planned alien attack that came with Pam Bondi. Later, a couple months later, there was reports, in the news cycle that there's an alien spaceship heading towards Earth, etc. like that. We talked about LA or the House of Angels, which ended up turning out to be the LA, what happened in LA with the riots, right? The House of Angels, Los Angeles. Anything else, Spirit? Okay, you ready? So the way this works is I can't see the cards. I'm just going to use my intuition to pick out cards. Dark blue or light blue? Okay, they're saying light blue, just the card. Go ahead. Okay. Could you tell me use this yellow card? Okay. The first two cards here, we have divorce and influence. So divorce and influence. Okay. Divorce and influence. I'm getting also the sign of widow. So it could also be like Alka Kirk. Communications. We have here being challenged by fire reverse. Quitting. Could possibly be quitting. This is the lack of something. This is a solar plexus. It's just doing something, but it's in reverse. So it tells me it's quitting. We have here media. Influence, divorce, quitting the media. Maybe it's saying the media is going to quit on something. Because we have here the media, social media, legacy media, influence, divorce. There's going to be a breakup of a media company, possibly. A breakup. Or media is just going to disappear. Like, they're not going to abide by the rules anymore. Something changing within the media. Okay, let's see what that means. We'll find out eventually. Hopefully I remember this video. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a moment. Enjoy this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you guys in a moment. Peace out. I love you. Thank you for watching.